Hey guys, I am AuspiciousAussie and welcome to my even flow tactic video. The download for the tactic will actually be in the description below, so make sure you check that out if you would like to download it straight away. I'm going to go through the tactic in a little bit of detail in a moment, but first of all I want to pretty much just run you through how the tactic has actually gone for me. Okay, so this season, which is my third season I believe, yeah, third. Um, as you can see, we are currently sitting in 7th position with Everton, which is one of my series. Shameful plug right there. Make sure you check it out. We're on 24 points, fairly close behind, Arsenal, who are in 2nd. We have 2 games in hand over Chelsea, who are in 1st, obviously. So if we win both of our games in hand, which I would like to think we could do that, despite it being against Tottenham and Liverpool, we would be 2 points behind Chelsea, which would be pretty amazing considering the team that Chelsea has and the team that I have. But anyway, enough about the results here. We'll go back in time like this. We'll go back to the first season. As you can see, I finished 6th that season. That was when the game first came out in the beta. A few things have changed in the tactics since then, obviously. We did lose 12 times in a season, so I wouldn't really upload a video or tactic video even with that type of result. Next season was pretty much the same sort of thing, 12 losses again, but with the team that I have competing against the teams above me, I think we've done quite well, even though QPR are doing really well this season. Nonetheless, we'll get into the tactic video now, the tactics, sorry. Alright, we'll just get into this. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty much a 4-5-1 basically, and apologies if you could hear my dog barking in the background. It's not very professional. But anyway, starting with the goalkeeper, just a regular old goalkeeper set to defend, fairly straightforward. Then you've got a fullback set to automatic, as well as the left back, which is also a fullback automatic. The defence is pretty much a flat back four, fairly straightforward. 2 centre backs, both centre defenders. Sorry, no sweepers, both set on defensive. The midfield is where things get a little bit interesting. We'll start off with the deep line playmaker, as you can see here. We have a DLP as a defence, well, as on defensive mentality, I should say, which is Rabiot. So a player similar to his mould, fairly decent physicals, good passing, good vision, as you would like in a playmaker. But the player must at least have fairly decent defensive stats. It's quite imperative if you want him to break up play without actually having a ball-winning midfielder in that position. He must have some type of defensive attributes. It's pretty imperative that is found in a player. So yeah, as you can see, McCarthy again can probably play that position as well, but I prefer to play him as a roaming playmaker, which is the position next to the DLP. The RPM is the roaming playmaker, and that is obviously set to support because that is the default. Again, a player similar to the deep line playmaker, whereas the marking and tackling stats aren't as important. The more important stats are probably things like pace, natural fitness, stamina, vision, of course, work rate as well. All these are pretty important. Maybe dribbling as well. I'll give you a look at the actual player roles, as you can see. So dribbling is fairly important, obviously passing technique, but they're fairly straightforward for a midfielder anyway. Then we have an advanced playmaker who is also on support, to support the strikers. I have lots of support in my midfield. I don't know why, but I just feel that it works the best. So yeah, fairly straightforward. An advanced playmaker. Barkley fits his position extremely well, although he does get quite a lot of injuries because he's injury prone. So it does affect his ratings, but he's very good for this position and one of my favourite players in the series. As far as the wingers, you want your wingers to be really quick. They're fairly straightforward wingers in the winger role, I should say, with, again, support. I've recently signed Campbell, spoilers, amazing pace. I've retrained him as a left winger, and he's performed very, very well for me. Morales, obviously at the club at the start, has performed amazingly for me. Again, with the pace, it's very, very imperative. You want good dribbling as well as crossing. And the striker is probably obviously the most important part of the team, I believe. I play with an advanced forward attacking. Lukaku, I think in 2 separate seasons, has scored 40 goals, 40 plus goals for me out of 3 seasons. So yeah, I mean that return is pretty outstanding by itself. He scored 23 already this season so far, and I think we're only 14 games into the Premier League so far. So yeah, that goes to show we're only in December and he's already at 23, which is quite impressive, I have to say. As you can see, you don't really get a lot of goals from any other players. Your wingers will chip in a little bit, your midfielders will chip in a little bit. They're all around the same. Joel Campbell's is having a really, really good season. And Morales is racking up the assists with Lukaku. So this tactic is really good. I actually use it on my other series as well, which is the Ajax Dutch players only. So in that series, I basically sold all the best foreign players, kept all the good Dutch players, bought a few players in, and I used my even flow tactic right here. And we're currently sitting first in that. So if you have checked that series out before, you'll know what I'm talking about. We currently sit, I think, 7 points, nearly, maybe 10 points ahead at this stage. I think the mid-season review went up 2 days ago. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Another shameless plug. Anyway, that is that. We'll get into the mentality now. As you can see, it is control. Obviously, it's not amazing against the larger teams because they will tend to have a bit more possession than you if the quality of players is higher on their team. So that's something to be wary about. Maybe to drop it if you are versing a big team and they do have better players with higher passing and stuff. Maybe drop it down to standard. Counter-attacking I have done before, so that's another thing that's possible. I would recommend keeping it on fluid as far as the team shape goes. And your instructions, you're going to want to look a little bit like this. Possession, you're going to want retain possession, shorter passing, pass into space, and hit early crosses. Then penetration, you want exploit the flanks. Fairly simple. Get your wingers pressed up and looking for the ball. Then you want in your shape, you want push higher up again, just to prevent space, kind of to compress their team in when we are defending. Defending, you want close down more and use tighter marking. I mean, they're fairly straightforward. You just want your players to try and press them and try and get turnovers. And then your general, you just want higher tempo and be more expressive because we do have those 3 creative players in the center of our midfield, the playmakers. So there you go, that's the instructions, the team instructions there. And yeah, that's about it. So as you can see, I'll run through the team one more time. Goalkeeper, defend. Fullback right, automatic. Central defender right, defend. Central defender left, defend. Fullback left, automatic again. Roaming playmaker, support obviously. Deep line playmaker, defend. And obviously, like I mentioned, you will want your player to have somewhat good defensive stats. Obviously, Rabiot isn't amazing, but he's a fairly decent youngster, and he's been playing well for me, so I'm quite happy with that. A player I would recommend for the roaming playmaker role is Lucas Romero. Absolute world-class player. I actually signed him very, very cheap, as you can see, 5.5 mil from Velez. And he is probably one of the best players to play that position for, quite a low fee. So that's something you should think about. He's a very good player. And, yeah, very good for Premier League teams. Moving on. Winger right, you're going to want support. Advanced playmaker center, support. Winger left, support again. And then your advanced forward center, attack. And as far as the advanced forward goes, I would recommend someone with very good pace and strength like here. Like Lukaku here, sorry. The heading isn't too important, but obviously with those good wingers, you will score a fair few goals with the player the higher their heading is, so make sure you take that into account. You will want a fairly high finishing rate, or attribute I should say. That is quite imperative, as well as composure. So a few things there to take note of. Pace, strength, and finishing. Throw a heading there in as well if you are able to buy a player of that quality. I know everybody can't have Lukaku, obviously because of the price he would command. But anyway, that's basically going to be it, guys. Like I said, the download link will be in the description below. Please drop a like and share this with your friends if you would like to, and I really do hope that this tactic will be really decent for you and get you some results if you are struggling to find a tactic that you know that suits you. And yeah, this is a fairly straightforward tactic. I really like it. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. Check out my Everton series and my Ajax series if you would like to, and hopefully I'll see you around my channel in the future. Goodbye, guys.